topic is chemical properties of nonmetals. So first chemical property of nonmetal is reaction with oxygen. Like metals, they react with oxygen. Nonmetals also they react with the oxygen and they form nonmetal oxides now. So it is a nonmetal reacting with oxygen, and as a result of this what we will get here is a non-metal oxide. One example of non-metal oxide is carbon reacting with the oxygen and it forms carbon dioxide. But if the oxygen supply is not sufficient, then it will be carbon monoxide in this case. So there will be oxides of carbon, that can be carbon dioxide, that can be carbon monoxide, that depends on the supply of oxygen here. Next example is if we take sulfur. It burns in oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. Then hydrogen, it burns in free supply of oxygen to form water here. And these oxides of nonmetals that we have got here, the nature of these oxides, that these oxides mostly are acidic in nature. Like metal oxide mostly are basic in nature. Non-metal oxides, these are basically acidic in nature. Example, carbon dioxide is acidic in nature. Sulfur dioxide is acidic in nature. So non-metal oxides, when we add water to these oxides, they will form acid. That shows that these oxides of non-metal, they are acidic in nature. Now one example for this thing is like carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, I told you, are acidic oxides. So one example of carbon dioxide and second one is of sulfur dioxide. When we add water to these non-metal oxides, this forms an acid which is called carbonic acid. And sulfur dioxide in water forms an acid which is called sulfurous acid. This is carbonic acid. This is sulfurous acid. Remember, this is sulfurous, not sulfuric. Sulfuric is H2SO4 and that will form if we take SO3 here. But some of the non-metal oxides are not acidic, they are neutral in nature. Like in metal oxides, we have done some metal oxides, they are amphoteric, like aluminium oxide is amphoteric in nature. So here some of the non-metal oxides like carbon monoxide, water, CO, water, then NO are neutral in nature. They are neutral in nature. That is, they do not show acidic behavior or they do not show basic behavior. So this is the first chemical property of nonmetals, that they react with oxygen and they form nonmetal oxides. Then these nonmetal oxides, most of these are acidic in nature, like the carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, because they are forming acid when water is added to these nonmetal oxides. But some nonmetal oxides like the carbon monoxide, water, NO, these are neutral in nature. They do not show acidic or basic behavior. So this is the first chemical property of nonmetals. Now moving on to the second chemical property of nonmetals, it's reaction with water. Reaction with water. Non-metals actually do not react with water. Metals react with water, but non-metals do not react with water, and there is no evolution of hydrogen gas. Same way, if we do the reaction of non-metals with dilute acids, non-metals do not even react with acids. Why they do not react with the dilute acids? The reason here is, first I'm writing that non-metals do not react with dilute acids. See here, if we take a non-metal like carbon and add an acid like HCl, For the reaction to take place, this nonmetal has to displace this hydrogen from here. But nonmetals do not displace hydrogen from dilute acids. That is why this reaction will not take place. So nonmetals cannot be oxidized. They cannot be oxidized by the acids like concentrated nitric acid, sulfuric acid. So that is why this reaction will not take place, because they are not able to displace, because nonmetals do not displace hydrogen from dilute acids. This is the reason why they are not reacting with acids. Now next after this is the fourth property, that is reaction of nonmetals with salt solutions. Like we have done the metal displacement reactions, more reactive metal can displace less reactive metal from its salt solution. Similarly, nonmetals, the more reactive nonmetal can displace the less reactive nonmetal from its salt solution. We are taking a salt solution of sodium bromide. To this we are adding chlorine. Chlorine is more reactive than bromine. So it can displace this and can take the place of this Br. So as a result of this, this becomes NaCl and this comes out and this becomes Br2. So Br2 and this formation of NaCl here. So even in this case, this reaction takes place when more reactive nonmetal is there and the less reactive metal is in the salt solution. So more reactive nonmetal can displace the less reactive metal from its salt solution. So these are the chemical properties of nonmetals.